My name is Patrick.
I'm Tasha.
I'm Terry.
Oh, you know, I'm Garrett. Oh, it's all about the melanin, y'all.
Tell me.
All right. So here we go. What we're talking about now is something that's happening under our noses and we should be paying attention to. It's a new gold rush, so to speak. And the article that we're referring to comes from the Financial Times, titled, How Unlocking the Secrets of African DNA Could Change the World. It seems, if you look at it, what's happening is that researchers, academics, drug companies, and startups around the world have recently woken up to the potential of the potential that Africans offer as far as our genetics. Pharmaceutical groups are on the hunt for genomic data from African populations. There is, however, concern about who will ultimately own Africa's genomic data, as if that should be even an argument. Who's going to own Africans' genomic data? You know, that's infuriating.
That's daunting.
And daunting, right. You know, because, okay, not even, we don't even have authority to decide on our own genetics. They're actually having arguments about who's going to own our own DNA, black DNA, as if we don't have no say in the matter. You know? These pharmaceutical companies, and the article also points out that over 98% of the research, of the efforts that finding out cures, antibiotics, and everything from people comes from white countries, European countries. And then now discovering that the stronger genetics or DNA comes from black people. Surprise. You should have been known that, but they're white, so their hubris will lead them to feel that that's what it is. Okay, so let's think about that. They're going to start mining for our DNA. If you're not upset about this, I don't know what you're thinking about. You know, not only in these countries we can't own our own resources of oil, coal, cocoa, everything else, but our own DNA is up for grabs. Really? Really? This is what they're talking about. Even China itself, in the article, please read it. Even in China was trying to set up some foundational institution to govern or manage or whatever have you. You know, all of this.
This the DNA,
in Africa.
Right. Yes, the biology.
Even money.
The biology. Because, you know, our blood has that definite significant blood.
Yeah.
Black women, we all know, have the Eve gene. Yeah. So we all know how definitely their blood is more, is like.
And mind you about Henrietta Lacks.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Henrietta Lacks, the case of her would have told white populations that we are the stronger genetics and this is the way to go. But they didn't even learn from that because they're ignorant to these facts. You know what I'm saying? Their hubris will lead them to believe
the article is not saying that they're not ignorant to the fact. The article is definitely saying something that they know was.
But I'm saying the article is saying they're just not waking up to it. I thought they would have been welcome to it. Henrietta Lacks was years ago.
Well, you know what?
I thought they would have been welcome to it.
But don't get it twisted. Don't forget about what happened with the Tuskegee Airmen. You feel what I'm saying? Don't forget about
that either, right?
But I mean, they've been experimenting on black people for years. So don't get beside the fact that, remember, they already believe that black people don't feel pain. I think from the time when they took, I think it was around World War II. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was around that time when they were experimenting on us. And they were able to have her bodies like that. I think they knew on something about her DNA. Now, you could make a point that, yes, you could make a point now.
Why are they just mining now?
Exactly.
I thought it would have been like, why now is the rush?
But it's not to say that they don't already have significant amount of black DNA already previously.
That could be true.
I just think that it's basically because they see that our genes is everlasting and just go a long way.
Oh, yeah, we got the Eve gene.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well,
so it's just that I just feel like we just need to wake up. Don't let these people go over there and just take our genes and be that
part of it's our fault.
Yeah,
right.
You see what I'm saying? And I keep on saying over and over and over, it's the government over there needs to be much stronger. How you gonna have these motherfuckers go over there and say, hey, we're gonna go over there and do this and have these people do that and just government over what is ours? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is ours? That's body, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about fruits and vegetables.
We're not talking fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Our own genetics.
Fruits and vegetables.
What type of shit is that? Like, I don't understand that.
That's the inferiority part.
So it's like you just had your flesh and womb baby, and then you gonna say, "Hold on, real quick. Let me just get the stem out of your
It's your blood. Just say it.
Yeah,
Your blood right out of your
basically.
damn
I was
body.
about to say the
It's your
stem
blood.
from your
And go to benefit them and everybody else.
Yeah, the stem cells. You
yeah,
talking
the
about
stem cells
You
from
talking
when you
about
have
the
your
stem cells.
baby,
Yeah.
and then
The
here
stem
you
cells.
go, and they gonna just snatch it out, and they gonna just take all the genetics up out of there, and then you just go about your way. I don't understand that type of shit. And then you just fall back and just say nothing. I don't understand that because you just don't have the rights to your well-being in life.
You know,
And then the government just fall back. Like, I just don't get that. You have the rights to do what you want for your well-being. The Africans need to stand up and stand ground and put your 10 feet down into the soil.
It's Pan-African.
You guys are
the whole diaspora
yes,
needs to stand up.
you guys are so big and so founded to stand up. Fuck the government because you guys are whole in one. And I just want them to realize how strong that they are to just go against all of that. You know, because the man himself is just so weak. And then I just so baffled because I'm just going to say because his ass is just so paid already. You know, because he's already in that motherfucker's
talking about
pocket.
the leadership.
Yes, the leadership.
Like, okay.
Yes, the leadership. Don't, mistake of what I'm saying. You know, because he's already just gone. But it's just the people, the society, them. They just need to just be
Stand
strong.
up, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It
You know what
needs
I'm
to be a
saying?
revolution, definitely.
Can I
Of course, over there.
I just want, it's just a couple things, that kind of stood out for me in this, where I know we're talking about, the leadership in Africa is horrible, right? A lot of it too is a lot of the countries in Africa and the sections in Africa are very poor, right? Yeah. And there's a couple things that when I hear about stories like this, it does, like how you were saying, it does get me infuriating, right? Absolutely. But a lot of times, people that are worried about their basic needs, they get taken advantage of, right? Course. Because, like I said, a lot of these countries are poor. They they're worried about just having water, right? They're just having good pure water to drink,
and that's how they control
to survive,
them. That's
right?
how they control
and
them.
then not just that, but we talk about in Nigeria how they're getting hit from a lot of areas, even just around, in Europe, in America, we know a lot of Nigerians. Nigerian seems to be, of the African countries, that country that have a lot of people that travel out and move out and live in different countries. So because of that, you start to wonder, okay, what's going on in Nigeria? It brings a lot of light to Nigeria. Well, now we know we've done several stories about Nigeria. Yeah. First of all, we've talked about SARS. Yeah. We've talked about Boko Haram. So Nigeria is going through it. Yeah. When you are dealing with those type of things, sometimes it's hard for you to then have to go a level deeper and now starting to think about your DNA getting farmed out. Yeah. And not only that, my second point is Nigeria has always been, we're all descendants of slavery. Right. So Africa have always been the continent where all the other continents go to steal resources. Yeah. You stole their people. Right. Now you're stealing. We all got cell phones. Everybody got cell phones. Where you get your cell phone?
You're stealing the technology resources, right? Where do you get
the bare basic to get that? Yeah. And some of the African countries too are one of the top 5 places where you also still get oil. Yeah. Still get basic resources. Yeah. And so now, not just that. My other point is, I know I'm going on. Sorry, you guys.
No, you go ahead, girl.
But not just
go
that.
Ahead, girl. Go ahead.
We talking about. Also, to our artifacts, we don't even have control of the things that we, from our ancestors, from our history. Yeah. Now, there is a debate that has been going on for a few years now where we can't even get control of our artifacts, right? What they're saying is with the reason why we can't have control of our artifacts is because we don't have museums set up, we don't have schools, we don't have, creators, we don't have appraisals, people to really facilitate that whole thing of having artifacts and museums and things like that. So I guess that would be the reason why we're not able to have our DNA harvested, while we're not able to have control of that, right? That's the whole part of the article, where that's going to get farmed out, right? Just as the same as how we don't have control of what comes out of the resources that come out of our countries, the resources that come out of the Congo and other countries, just like how China was able to harvest their resources, which is labor, and they're able to become an economic force because they were able to use their labor.
Yes.
We have all these resources,
labor,
right? You can't have a cell phone without the resources that come out of the Congo.
Right.
But somehow that's also one of the poorest countries in the world.
Yeah.
Right? So back to the article with our DNA. We're not able to, we don't have a system in place to harvest our own DNA.
Yeah.
So again, we are at the mercies of these other countries. We are at the mercy of white supremacy. We are at the mercy
of their kind of world controlled order, and that's exactly what I want to also talk about too, because we are, and it's very, 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 very we feel kind of subdued in a kind of way, because it's like you said, if we don't have the means to kind of really make a good stance and argument for those stuff, then it's really then it's like, well, what do you guys really make arguments for? You can't put them nowhere. So what's the point, right? Nigeria is the number one black population in the world, okay? And not even just that, Nigeria is also going through their type of economic, change with their whole Nollywood, you know what I'm saying? And they're trying to pop it up. But it's not about just Nigeria. This whole article is about, I personally don't believe it's about one country. I think it's about the vast, especially the ones that you said is underdeveloped, the third world ones, right? Like we said, like the Congos, the Sudans, right? Ethiopia's, you know what I'm saying? And like a lot of like North African, North African countries that some of the black people that still are, but are like are controlled by like of other nations. I just kind of feel like right now, like he calls it a gold rush. This blood rush for the this kind of experimenting. This is like the new age experimenting. You know what I mean? The new age experimenting that's coming up with our DNA. It has to be something that we have to kind of look in, because why is it specifically black people that they're going off for, right? It's how many people on the planet, billions of people on the planet. So that should make a reality to the whole pan-Africans. No matter where you live at, it doesn't matter where you are, what country you come from. It should be an idea that we all should be looking at, because it's specifically about our DNA that they're looking at. Like I said before, it's all about the melanin, y'all. We need to be paying attention about our health. We need to be paying attention about what is it that in our bodies, our biologies, how do we grow? A lot of people don't realize that, but black babies get developed within just the first 2 hours. Just the first 2 hours. The first 2 hours with them coming out, they're already more advanced than a lot of other babies. So again, I just want to get the idea out there that we all should be looking at. Yes, this is about all and intensive purpose of the African DNA, and this is where it starts. Don't underestimate the idea that will not move out of Africa into any other underdeveloped African peoples around the world that they feel like they can definitely get their hands on and do this kind of blood rush of this type of white man science, Western science. Excuse me, it's just Western science.
Right. Yeah, and just in just summation, I just leave with this. If we're thinking about an economic standpoint, these companies, these countries rushing to, and they feel like there's a new rush to get our genetics and all of the potential that can come from it. Well, that means if black people, we have control of this, that we will literally own the world's pharmaceutical industry because of what the potential holds, that they're thinking that they can get from it. We could literally own. Pfizer will be a baby compared to what we can do if we manage our own genetics and everything we can do pharmaceutically. Talking about poverty and the economics of Africa, this another resource that can literally lift the entire continent out of poverty and control almost the world in different ways economically. They will have to come to Africa to get a cure. Yeah. It's possible if we manage it good enough, if we establish some kind of fucking power for ourselves and stop being pushed around.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense that we keep doing this. From the first resource they came to get to this. It's another opportunity to take some control of what? And this is something that we have, that was born with, that God gave us. And we can't manage that?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. So okay, we just leave it there. Just think about that. Just think about that.
We are the original people, man.
Original people.
Y'all should know.
This is ThePMHour. What it is. You know what I'm saying? Think more.
Get them motherfuckers from over there.
So,
y'all should be awake by now.
We got this. We're there.
Thank you. Subscribe.